Good morning, planet Earth, and welcome to the 10th episode of the Live Painting Channel. That's right, 10th episode. Try to make it a special episode today, but they're all special. My name is Warren Stokes, host of the Live Painting Channel, and getting ready. I actually just started a painting. If you're just joining, we have this program, Live Painting Channel, every Sunday at 11 a.m. Pacific time. I am still inspired by the trip to Palm Springs, so I'm just starting another palm oriented painting here. What I've got is a palette of, guess what, greens and blues, but I'm actually not sure what I'm going to do in this middle section. It's kind of a golf course, perhaps. Or maybe it's the desert, we'll see. I've just started by laying in some compositional lines here. And for those of you who may not know, I don't usually use a standard canvas size, but I pulled one out today and I just felt my painting needed it. We'll just have to see how it comes out. Palette today is started with, I've gone to an ultramarine blue, which gives it a little different tint, a little bit more kind of violetish, if you will, and that's actually what I was hoping for with especially the shadows. And I added a little bit of phthalo blue in the sky, Hooker's green, and I've got some charcoal and some dark matter, I call it. If you're into physics, got some dark matter here, just almost black. It's really a dark charcoal color I've been using to get my darks in, and I've just started to rough out some of the painting here. I usually start with composition. Where do I want my main verticals, horizontals, and diagonals? In this case, I've just got several horizontals going across here, and I'm going to play around with this yet, but 1, 2, 3, 4 bands horizontal. I've got quite a few little verticals going on, and I'm going to have fun painting these palm trees. I had fun painting the last one. Actually, during the last one, had a power outage right in the middle, well, it was towards the end of the show. But there I was painting, all of a sudden it was dark, so I managed to finish that painting the following week. But here we are for number 10. Let's get going. I'm just going to go ahead and start work a little bit more on the hills in the background. And by the way, anybody in the audience today is welcome to chat. Got a live chat going on. I'd like to, if you have any thoughts, ideas, comments, feel free to put them out there. What I'm going to start doing now is I'm going to work on the mountains a little bit. So in this case, what I want to do is start to tone down the blues, and I'm going to complement it with some browns. In fact, I have a brown palette, sort of browns and ochres and stuff. I think I'm just going to do a little bit of that right now, just to kind of get my feet wet this morning. So I'm going to try a little mixture of burnt umber and raw sienna. And let's just see how that starts to look. Actually, that's a pretty cool looking color, just with a little white. Yeah, I'm already liking it. And I'm going to add just a bit of that burnt umber to darken it a tad. Same palette I used in my last Palm Springs painting, come to think of it. And I'm going to make sure that I don't get too much paint from the beginning. I'm going to just start seeing how this looks with the color scheme here. Really just trying to get some warm colors, warm tones in here to start making these mountains pop. And if anyone becomes horrified by anything I'm doing, please let me know. Sometimes I do crazy things. If you like it, let me know. You can shoot emojis. I guess one of these days I'll get what's called a tip jar on Twitch, maybe. I don't know. Fund up the paint. Ooh, I like the contrast there, that's for sure. Anyway, it's interactive. Maybe you're painting along. If you are, I hope you're having fun already. Yeah, painting number 10 on the Live Painting channel here. Yeah. Well, I don't know about you, but I've almost fallen in love with that color combo already. I'm going to tell you again what it is. The hills in the background, the mountains I should say, these are some foothills, and then those are the San Jacinto Mountains in the back. And then they come right up to the Palm Desert area. Palm Springs is the traditional area, but a lot of stuff going on in that whole area now. Palm Springs, Palm Desert, it's all kind of the same thing. The Coachella Valley is what it's called. Ooh, yeah, let's just lead those off into these other areas a little. Wow, oh my gosh. Woohoo! Man, I love it when a plan comes together with my color scheme. One of the hardest things is figuring out a palette that works and then kind of committing to it, you know what I mean? I don't want to change horses in the middle of the stream too much. But I am liking that. And these are also kind of carried over into some of the mountains over here. Can't forget my side. Thanks, Amber, for teaching me that little thing. That's cool. Amber's my daughter, quite the artist unto herself. One of these days I'll have Amber on the live painting channel. Amber, if you're out there, you're invited. Come by some Sunday and we'll maybe do a paint-a-thon, or oh, I got an idea. We'll do a painting where we do the same painting, each of us alternate. I think Jason had that idea, my son. Anyway, my big fan club and family out there. And by the way, we are recording today's session. I think. Yeah. Just checking. Do a lot of live webinars and stuff for business. This is just not to make money. This is just to share art with people, give people a chance to relax. Something other than watching the news or sports or something, you know, just plus do something creative. I call it maybe what I thought is I needed some proactive change in my life. I've been an artist my whole life, as long as I could remember anyway. And there were a few periods of time where I actually painted or did various types of art, mostly painting, to survive. One of those was in Bisbee, Arizona, which actually is the place I was born. Interesting story. I'll kind of tell you as I go here about the story. But I was found myself there. I remember it very well because it was 1977, because it was the I think it was called Bicentennial. It was the 200-year celebration of the United States being founded. So as you all know, probably 1776. So it must have been 1976, come to think of it, yeah. In any event, I went down there for some reason. The first time I went down there was to do some gemstone prospecting. I've always been enthralled by gemstones and that sort of thing. And I did make my way down there. I did manage to do quite a bit of prospecting in Bisbee. But when I went down there, I eventually ran out of money. Didn't have much to start with, actually. And I thought, man, I need to make some money. So I thought, I bet, and there was tourists just going through town like crazy, because it was that big bicentennial year, and it was a historic town, Old West town, near Tombstone, Arizona, actually, if you've ever heard of that movie. And it's a real place, about 90 miles from Tombstone, actually. And I decided, well, what can I do to make a few dollars here? And I decided, well, I know I could paint some pictures, and I painted some pictures. And believe it or not, I actually still have one of these. I've used watercolors, just the most crudest materials. Just bought, probably a $3 set of watercolors and scavenged some paper, and I would make frames out of cactus. What the heck, I'm going to show you guys this. I happen to have dug one up out of the archives here. I digress, but I'm going to show you one of my first paintings I've ever did that was part of my paintings for sale. I'll kind of zoom in on this little desert scene. And these are yucca cactus. So I would cut these yucca cactus, which are the spears. They're really kind of like wood. And I would make frames out of them and just paint on cardboard or any material, little hangings, little piece of electrical wire. And I would sell these for about typically around $15 to $20. But I mean, I could live well selling one painting a day, because part of the time I was actually living in a cave. It was a fun thing. It wasn't like I had to. But I was also living with some other interesting folks down there. But anyway, why did I tell that story? I guess part of my thing here is just, telling stories as I do my paintings here. Oh yeah, it was because I have done on a couple of occasions painted for my living, essentially being professional painting, albeit a street artist at the time. All right, now before I get too crazy with that, I'm just going to step back, and I'm trying to catch what I would call evening light here, and it's working. I think it's working. You know, so let's just keep up on that same palette. Yeah. Anyway, I'll tell you a quick story if you're interested. And comment on this if you like it or don't. Got any thoughts, suggestions, hallucinations? Anyway, one of the times I was traveling, and I decided that I wanted to find an art guru. It was like back when gurus were a thing, I guess. Anyway, I thought of this idea, and you know, I want to find an art teacher, basically, an art guru. And so I set out hitchhiking, pretty randomly. Maybe that was the good thing. Random kind of, I was just heading somewhere, and I got stuck in this down south of, I think it was down south of Fresno, California. It was really a long, hot day and really hard to get rides. And it was just getting to be about twilight. And I was going, oh my gosh, I guess I'm going to have to find a place to kind of crash camp for the night. I like the way that light plays through the trees. Ooh, I'm just having so much fun with this. Anyway, so finally this old pickup starts rolling, comes up by me, and on this, I was on a freeway interchange, hitchhiking, and had my thumb out, and I thought the only vehicle that had been by in a long time was this old pickup. As I recall, it was about a 1962 Chevy. I'm pretty good at remembering car types. So was my dad, by the way. He could tell you what kind of car people were driving a mile away. Anyway, this guy pulls up. He says, "Hey, you look like you need a ride." And I said, "I sure do." And hopped in, and he says, "So we just fired up the truck and started heading down the road." He was heading south, and he says, "So where are you going?" And I said, "Well, actually, where I'm going is I'm trying to find an art guru." I told him, true story, 100% true. And he says, "Really?" I said, "Yep." He says, "Well, I know who you have to go find." Can you imagine this? Right, just out of the blue, hitchhiking. Yep, true story. He says, "You need to find Damien. He is the most incredible artist that you'll ever meet, and if you could get him to become a teacher, that's what you should do," he said. A little bit more of that little cool evening light peeking behind these. Now I gotta work back to front, remember? Oh, thanks for the comment there, Imbersky. About the lighting, I kind of like it too. And anyway, so he says, "Yeah, you got to meet this guy Damien, best master art teacher you'll ever find." And I said, "Really? Well, where would I find him?" He says, "Well, the thing is, you need to go to Bisbee, Arizona." Strange, because I was born in Bisbee. Nobody is born in Bisbee, Arizona. Let me just tell you that. Except me, maybe a couple people. Yep, I was born in Bisbee at the Copper Queen Hospital. I did have a hospital at the time. I was born in 1957. If you want to do the math on that, tell how many centuries old I'm getting to be. Anyway, so guess what I did? Anybody in the audience? Just ask the person next to you. What do you think Warren did when this guy, when he was hitchhiking, told him where to find the art guru? A guy named Damien in Bisbee. What do you think he did? He said, "Well, then that's where I'm going." We were already heading south. And I told the guy, "That's great, thank you." And he took me down to Compton, which is in the LA area, and that was a good long ride, just exactly what I needed to make some miles. And I got off in the freight yards there. Well, he left me off kind of by the freight train, Fulham Yards, and I hopped the freight. Yeah, I did quite a bit of that too. I guess he kind of like. Have you ever heard of Louis L'Amour, an author? He's no longer, he's passed away, but he wrote tons and tons of great books, most of them Western quite a few other types of adventures, but he did all kinds of stuff. He was a lumberjack, and he rode freight trains, and he ended up being a very prolific and famous writer. All right. Now these are starting to kind of blend into the shadows, so it's not getting quite as much light on that hill. But I still want to have a little bit of this kind of, little bit of reflective light here and there that's on the drier part of the hills maybe. And sure enough, I made it to Bisbee. I'm going to pause that story though, while I think about this painting a little bit. There's more to it. Maybe on another channel, another episode, we'll continue that story. So for now though, I'm liking it. So what I'm going to do though is change my palette just a tad here and go into a little more neutral version of that. Lighter and more neutral. And for neutrality, I don't know, have you ever heard of net neutrality? I bet you have. Big issue. I can't believe what people are trying to do with that. Take away net neutrality, man. You know, that's bad. I don't get into a whole lot of politics on this show, but you know, the internet was like the best thing ever because it's basically a space where anyone can put their information out and have a voice in the world, and not controlled by like TV people or media or politicians, and it's been wonderful. In fact, you are on the internet watching me unedited, pretty much, yeah. And that's because we've had such a great open internet. But there are folks out there, not particularly great folks in my mind, that are trying to control the internet. Big corporations like, well, I don't want to mention names because I get some kind of list. I'll tell you, if you're looking for a good old movie to watch, it made me think of it. Remo Williams. You got to watch Remo Williams if you've never seen that movie, and then you'll know why I just decided not to talk about the big corporations on the air here. Remo Williams, really good old flick. I mean, really good. It's one of those like, wow, how could I even remember it? It's really old. Anyway, as I paint this, I'm kind of just making sure in my mind's eye that it is what it is, and sure enough, I like it. Now, there is one thing though I got to add here, and that is some snow to those little hills, the mountains, because that's the San Jacintos up there in the. They're about 4,000 feet north of Palm Springs, about 40 miles. There is a tramway, like a something you might see on a Swiss ski slope, tram thing that goes up to the top. And it's over 4,000 feet up in there. We went up there one time, had a really interesting hike around. Let's see, what was I going to do? Oh, put a little snow up in them there hills. Because I have a little image here that I snapped from some internet picture or something. I thought I liked the snow up there. Do a little test of that. By the way, if you've never seen this, idea is a lot of times I'll just do little test swatches to see how my brush is going to behave and how colors interact. And so right now I just want to see kind of what my idea of snow is going to look like. And funny how the paint changes color. Almost, it doesn't really, but it looks so much different when it's on the brush versus in the painting. So I'm going to put little bits of snow up in here. I kind of see some snow coming in here. Everything gets real quiet when you paint snow. It's a little too light. You'd think snow would be just white, huh? Yeah, not always. Here, believe it or not, this is not much white at all up in here. And I can see some snow coming down that ridge right in here. So maybe that's snowy side. A little bit of snow up there, yeah. We went down there just in February, this last February. Had a real good time. We visited the Joshua Tree National Monument, which was absolutely amazing. Alright. I got inspired. Okay, I got to look at that for a minute, and then and see if I let the paint dry. But I'm really kind of digging on this stuff here. Groovy, baby. I'm going to show you a painting that I did on the Live Painting channel. Just finished it up last session, and while that dries, I'll just show you a little painting of Palm Springs. This is one, not Palm Springs, but we were in Palm Springs and we went up to Joshua Tree National Monument, and my goodness, you'd think, wow, I mean, it was like the moon. It was so amazing. Went on hikes and stuff, and I really liked that scene, so I took a picture of the area there, right, pretty much how it was, kind of, and I painted it. It's fun, lots of fun. Anyway, by the way, I do post these videos of my live painting channel on YouTube. You could just Google Warren Stokes YouTube or live painting channel YouTube, and see it on Facebook too. Good stuff. I'm just trying to basically share my basically trying to express myself. It kind of goes to when somebody asked me, well, why do you do art? And I had to think about that, believe it or not. And part of it, I think, is just to do something other than what the politicians want you to do. Just watch TV and watch their commercials and stuff. And part of it was I was just ready for some proactive change and wanted to just commit myself to doing one of these live painting channels sessions a week. So this is number 10 again. You are lucky if you're on this channel today. Yes, sirree. Alright, I'm going to put a little more snow up here, because right here it's actually quite snowy up here on top. On the very top, a lot of snow. And a little bit of a ridge line of snow here. I don't want to get too carried away with the snow, but I don't like the way it contrasts with the warmer, drier range that's in front of it. Those are probably about 2,000 feet elevation, I'm guessing. Yeah, okay, that's good. Alright, enough on that. I'm going to tone down, believe it or not, I'm going to tone down that warmth, but not a whole lot. I'm going to tone it down using a fan brush. Because that's just going to be kind of a way to put a little bit of net neutrality into it. Is anything net neutrality? I have a little roll of paper towels that I put there, and so that light blue, just whisk it around here and there. Blue and orange are complementary colors, so they do. That's what I'm doing here, by the way. Is complementary. And blue and orange. But when you mix them together, they kind of create a neutral color. So I'm neutralizing it by adding a light shade of the complementary, the opposite. So orange, blue. Yeah, I think that's pretty much what I had in mind there. All right, very good. So let's continue, make some progress on this painting. A little bit different zone here. I'm just going to get crazy and go right into these palms. I've been looking forward to this. So we're going to go palming out here. I've created some back darks in just some of the palm areas there. And now we're going to go and create the lighter greens and yellows into it. Which frankly, I just can't wait to do this. It's going to be so much fun. Yeah, thanks for the congrats on number 10. It has been quite a nice journey so far. Okay. What was I going to do? Okay. I'm going to mix myself up a little palette area, going from various types of yellow down into some deep greens here. Okay, so what I like to do is mix the gradations of the color, so to speak, in my palette. And you'll see why here in a second. But I'm going to add a good slug of that Naples yellow in there. More of that. Okay, see what that's starting to look like. I'm kind of liking that green, so I'm going to actually just pause for mixing for a second. I need a place to put that brush. I'll just lay it there. Okay, and what are we going to use here? An old scraggly fan brush. I keep these now, they're just priceless. Old scraggly, been around for a while, kind of dried up here and there, but it gives me some really nice things. So what I do with the brush then is I take a little bit of the different gradations in the same load, brush load it's called, and I load them up into that brush. Do a little painting test on that, because this, you have to commit when you do this. I mean, walking around in circles here. Where did I put that? Oh, right here. All right, getting organized here. Got to commit, so I'm gonna. Yeah, I'm liking it. So I'm just gonna commit some palm frond strokes here. Wow. Give it some pizzazz there. Yeah, I like that. That's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Put a little bit of. Oh, well, I don't know about that circular stroke, but probably work on it. Okay. Cool. Making this thing come alive. This is fun. But what I need to do here is work myself up a little lighter green in here for some of these. Alright, that's the impression I want. We'll work on a little detail later. Wow, how about that right there and that? Sure. Okay. I'm going to pick up the same color scheme over on this other set over here, but it's a different kind of palm. It's got a little more elongated palm branches in it. So I'll just put myself some elongated palm branches over there. Okay, got my little dark and light mixed together. It's pretty cool actually. Alright, pretty good. While I'm just doing this, I see a little group of palm trees right down in here. I want to do. Add, if you will, just put in a little bit of palmy stuff. Funny thing is about painting is a lot of it's just let the brush do the work. There's an old saying in golf, let the golf club do the work. It's similar in painting, where sometimes you just let the brush do the work. Okay, I like that. And that's what matters. No matter who else likes it, really. When you're the artist, you get to call the shots. It's kind of cool. Oh, that went a little wacko, but that's okay. All right, well, very good. And down in here, start creating a little bit of blend of horizontal greenness. Super duper. All right. I'm going to go crazy with this yellow, but I'm going to do a little something here with some more yellowish green. That didn't work at all. Oh, I know what it was. That's what these are. Some other kinds of, ooh, look how these trees are growing. Pretty cool. Don't know if they're happy, but I can tell you what, they are. They're grateful. Maybe that's what I'll become, the Warren, the man from the future. I've been referred to now a couple things. People have been starting to, I don't know why, label. One of the things I've kind of taken on the label is the analog man in a digital world. Things are so digital these days. I kind of like being the analog man. Analog man in a digital world. So looking here at the time, plenty of time. No shortage of time, I guess, today. Let's go. Put some more of those bright yellows in there. I got another palette that I'm kind of filled up on, so I'm going to start doing another half a palette over here. Had to get out of the frame a little bit to do that, but here we go. These trees are really starting to get some cool looking growth on them there. And I'm kind of liking the idea of my palm fronds. One in particular, I think I'm going to put it right here. Start getting me some highlights in some of this. All right, Planet Earth, what do you guys think? What's going on out in the world here today? Having fun, I hope. Yeah, I'm relaxing here, doing If you just joined us, welcome to the Live Painting Channel. My name is Warren Stokes. I'm the host. A little painting of Palm Springs, just inspired by Palm Springs anyway. And I just never quite really know what I'm going to paint until I start doing it. But in this case, I'm enjoying this painting a lot. I do a lot of videos on YouTube on other subjects. If you're ever interested in some business topics, I do train people and share information about things like productivity tools like Microsoft Outlook. I'm a subject matter expert in that actually, and also CRM tools. The CRM that I use and sell is called Profit CRM, like looking into the future. It's a very nice CRM solution. It's built right into Microsoft Outlook actually, so it makes it so cool. Now, we're going to go and make a big decision here right about now about my painting. And that is that it's going to be a golf course. That's kind of the inspiration here. I'm a golfer. And so across here will be like the fairway. Oh, no, I gotta work on my trees a little bit more before I get into that. Sorry. I had the perfect tree brush for that last painting. I gotta find it. Perfect little tree brush. I mean, it's for the palm trees. The palm. I don't know what you want to call them. Stalks? No. The trunks. So let's see what kind of colorization we can get going in here. Yeah, that's pretty good. I like that. Kind of a grayish brown. I don't know what I'm attempting. Oh, that's still a little bit wet. So maybe come back to that one. Okie dokie. Sometimes you just gotta know when to back off. Again, I will load my brush with a couple different pigments. In this case, I've got the burnt umber and the raw sienna loaded on the same brush, and it kind of mixes it as you go. Kind of fun. Wow, that little tree got a little bit whacked out of shape. I don't know what happened. But he'll survive. This here is the light hitting the tree. Light's coming in there from the left. You see little hints of it going back up here through the trunk of the tree. These are palm trees, different style here. The one on the left I'm going to work on a little bit here is got a little different texture to it. I'm actually switching brushes. And I'm going to go in with some dark brown stuff, brownish gray, and lay in a little bit of this. It's kind of got these little jaggedy, almost angly bark to it down in here. So just kind of emulating that. Let my brush do the work a bit. See what I'm talking about there? A little few darks over here too. They kind of go in little V's, pretty sharp around the edges. Hard to climb it if you had to climb that tree. Tell you what, sharp little edges. Unfortunately, I'm not having to climb that tree today. I can just paint it. Okay, now let's drop in some of the lighter stuff. I'm going to actually go, believe it or not, put a little bit of my ultramarine blue as part of the shadowy effect in there. You see this blue, I mean, it's like, sometimes it just makes one of the better shadows. My granddaughter Marigold Star really likes a book called Spooky Shadows. Put these shadows in, just made me think of that. Marigold, if you're out there and you're watching this, come over, we'll read books sometime. I think you're going to come over next weekend, huh? That's what I heard. Okay, get my shadows. I like it so much, I'm going to do a little bit of that same sort of thing over here. And in this case, we're actually going to paint some shadows coming across that tree. And dying to do that a little bit more blue shadow over here. Alright, we are having fun today. If you've just joined us, you are actually live on the Live Painting channel with, my name is Warren Stokes, your host. Broadcasting live on Twitch. Great channel, great tool. Hey, by the way, if you know of anybody that might be interested in seeing these sessions, when I broadcast on Twitch, I cannot record the videos and share them yet. So I need a few more followers. It's a real simple thing to do. Doesn't cost anything, but I'm looking to have, I need to get a total of 50 followers on Twitch. And I'll post my contact information here in a little bit so you can see where to go on that. And that way I could share the videos of these live painting sessions on Twitch. In the meantime, I do put them on YouTube. You can find them. You can just go to, actually, Facebook and YouTube. Got a lot of stuff out there on that. Facebook, I have a channel called Live Painting Channel. So I do put my videos there as well. Get you interested. Just adding a bit of any bit of highlight on the trunk over there, which I kind of like. I'm not trying to get too much detail, but just add a little spark. Aha! Liking it. Okay. Well, this painting is going to be, I think, a two-part painting. I can tell. We are getting close to the cutoff point here for this video, for this session. So, in fact, this is a good time for me to contemplate the future here. Think about it a little bit, and we'll pick this up on the next session of the Live Painting Channel. Again, my name is Warren Stokes. Thanks for joining us today. Hope you've had some fun. I'm going to post my contact information for a minute, and see you next Sunday at 11 a.m. Pacific Time for another episode of the Live Painting Channel. There's my contact information. Feel free to reach out at any time. What happened there? That's what happens in live TV, huh? Oh, there's some good stuff. Hang on just a sec. There we go. Warning, Live Painting Channel. Where do I want to go here? So, here we go, right there. Anyway, that's my contact info. Thanks, everybody. Have an awesome day.